Let's have a word of prayer to start. Heavenly Father, we ask you to be with us during this session, that we have good discussion and that we have participation, and that we can learn a little more about how to share with the students and how to become a good university professor, if this is a career that some of us will go, or some of the students. Be with us now in Jesus' name. Amen. What's the basic requirement to be a professor? In my opinion, is networking. So as much as you can, you develop a good relationship with your professors as you go on your course, and this will make a big influence once you apply for a position, for two reasons. One is that they can give you a recommendation, or they might know some places that need, or other positions that they know, and they can refer this to you. So networking is very important. Um, uh, so I like what Ernie Medina mentioned last time about being in conference, being in professional meetings, and sharing, asking questions, and sharing your experience with other people, and then uh, because this is networking as much as you can do that. And one more thing, sorry, cannot avoid that. And it's good that I am alone here, but I don't have any infections, don't worry. Um, what I was saying, the last part here is partners in research. If you're, if you, oh my goodness. If you want to be a professor, one thing is to do research, even if it's not the top things that you go, but it's almost synonym, professor and researcher. But not all of professors do research, I will tell you. But the trend is that more and more and more university professors should be involved in research. I remember when I was working, I left Loma Linda in 2000, in the year 2000, and then for 6 years I worked in Hong Kong. But I was always doing research. I was not a good researcher. I was not. I didn't publish anything on that time, but I always want to know if my programs were okay, if they I have a weight management program, so we want to know if the people are losing weight, if they are following the program, if cholesterol was going down, and all of these things we always promote. We always did some research, and we did research also with some people that are. We try to cooperate with people that are beyond our work in I used to work in a hospital. So I remember we start doing a kind of survey for all the vegetarians in the city, and so we had to contact people that are in other areas. So networking in any place, I mean, for any profession is important, and essentially for university professor is the one. So we mentioned about research, and then it's good to have publication. I remember we interviewed a guy 1 year ago to be a professor in nutrition. I will not mention names because I haven't asked him permission for that, but he is now a faculty in the nutrition department. And when he came for the interview, he had 20 publications. Oh my goodness. He topped all the candidates. I will tell you, there was no candidate that on that time that had this experience in publications. So it's important for us to develop publications. and if you have the opportunity, would be good. But get involved in research. If you are not involved now, you can volunteer for research opportunities, and especially if you want to teach in the area of preventive care, try to get involved in areas that are of interest for preventive care. What are the areas of interest of preventive care? People sometimes ask me, and I tell them very clear. Okay, preventive care is related to prevention of lifestyle-related diseases. So if you want to be, and that's the answer that I do when they want to do a dissertation. Now, if you want to do a dissertation, you have to choose one area of prevention that is related to a disease that is connected to lifestyle somehow. So I'm talking about diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, obesity, cancer, and strokes and things like that. And what I'm talking about in terms of lifestyle is exercise, is nutrition, stress management. Those are the main areas that involve preventive care. Okay, now I need your participation. One important thing is to have a good resume. And so I will stop a little bit. Let's see if I can do this. Maybe I can do this. But I want to have your opinion here. What would be important things that we should have in our curriculum vitae? Anybody can say anything. If you want to do a good resume for a university professor, what would you have in your resume? Education background is important. I believe in any curriculum vitae you put. I would say experience background is also important. Anything else? Michelle can speak up.
Um, uh, Sometimes employers would like to see articles you've written or publications, things like that.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to be a teacher, if you don't have much experience in research and you don't have many publications, even publications that you do, it can be scientific, but can be also other publications that for lay people also is valid sometimes. People say, well, this guy is acknowledging this area because people are asking him to say something. And then sometimes this will, of course, scientific publications are more important, but I would say you want to be a teacher, you start writing things. I think Dr. Medina mentioned this last time. He was always writing. When people ask him, he was always writing articles or whatever. Anything else?
I was waiting to see if somebody would say this, but your speaking gigs, conferences, presentations that you have done where you actually presented. So,
okay, presentations to professional
both
audience.
professional and lay, yeah.
Yeah, and I would say in lay audience also. With the same thing that I mentioned before, are important.
How about I often think that you put down any awards or recognition you've received.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Perfect. That's important to have there. The secret is to be in the field that you want to apply for. So if you want to apply to be a teacher in health sciences or in the area of prevention, you don't need to put there that you volunteer as administrator for the hospital, assistant administrator for a hospital in Nigeria, because, well, maybe will work also, but I would say it's more important if you volunteer as a teacher assistant in a place, or if you help in a research project. We will be focused more in the academics. That's what I mean. Anything else that I'm missing here?
Maybe you might want to put any special skills you have, like are you bilingual, anything like that. And of course, since this is like the academic resume, just like on another type of resume, you want to put how to contact you, your phone number, your email, things like that. And this would probably not be the place for the email that says gogogirl@gmail or something. You want a professional sounding email.
Michelle, I wasn't going to mention your email, but
I know I outed myself, didn't I?
no, but actually, that's a good one. I was going to say special skills maybe there because I was looking to see for somewhere else, but you could also have your any certifications, licensures.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so I believe we got the main thing for our resume. So let's go back to another topic: teaching experience. I would say being a teacher assistant is important, is the basic importance here. But I would say that teaching is not is specific for university. So if you get experience developing teaching skills, you can develop this anywhere. So that's why I believe we can start teaching at lower levels, or even at the community level, and then I think the experience is acquired when you teach and you teach and you teach. When you teach, you learn how to teach. Another thing is online teaching. So there is several now uh, universities that run online teaching courses for people because everything is going online. I mentioned that because we have 16 new students in the preventive care and 13 online and 3 on campus. So you see the trend of many doctoral programs is going online, unless they require a special skills. But in public health, I'm sure that online is gonna be the way. So if you wanna learn to teach, you might need to learn online skills. Another one is to develop a social media presence. And then again, it has to be something professional, either a Facebook page, website, be in LinkedIn, um, have an account in Instagram or Twitter. And I'm not sure if you watched this movie. I forgot the name. It was by I think it was Jennifer Lopez, and she was working as a managerial person, a lower level, just cleaning, and she wants to jump on the big level, and someone got her. I think a son of her friend got her web page and put a lot of things there, and then she applied to a position and got a high level managerial level because the guy put in her CV that she was a graduate from Harvard or some business school and has worked somewhere else in a very top position, and she got the job right away because of that. Well, I'm not telling you to lie, okay? That's not the point here. because it didn't work for her. It worked for her in the movie for a while, and then later on they figured out that she didn't have all the credentials and was a kind of a fiasco in the movie. And she ended up starting her own um, business. I believe she started doing a business on how to apply or on how to develop her or your own curriculum and skills to apply for jobs, something like that. But I believe we, as preventive care specialists, I think we could develop something professional and separate our friends and jokes that we do in Facebook to one that if you want to go on that, you have to be a little more serious and focus on the right things and develop a professional social media presence. Any comments?
When I was at Beaver, I had two Facebook pages. One that was called Dr. Ernie Medina Jr. that I used for patients and Beaver related stuff and all that. And then I had my personal one, and I did not friend my professional with my personal, because then people could see both. So I kept them sort of separate. So sometimes people would find me and say, "Hey, I found this other Ernie Medina Jr. Is that you?" And I say, "Oh yeah, that's my personal one." So I have a professional one as well as a private one, a personal one.
Good. I just want to say something about LinkedIn. I believe if you are looking for a job right after you finish, LinkedIn is one of the best things to go. Um, I had a good experience to share with you. There is a friend of mine. Well, he's not a real friend, but we are acquaintances. He is a professor in the School of Allied Health and director of, I believe, is a radiation or respiratory therapy program. I don't remember which program, ultrasound or something like that. But he was the guy that got 11 students through LinkedIn. And then I was interested, so I contacted him. My friend Adam Arechiga was the one that indicated this guy and said, well, talk to him. So I talked to him about LinkedIn, and then he said, well, I was able to do this through LinkedIn because people are going to LinkedIn now to find jobs and to find careers, not just jobs. And then it's important for you to be there. And then I asked him, what's your secret? You know what he said? Well, the secret is be yourself and share what you do. You don't even need to tell what is your program is all about. Of course, you have a description that you have a preventive care program for prevention of this. Is a very short description, but what people are looking for is what you do, he said, what you do. And then I'm brainstorming that, and the guy got 11 students just sharing what he does. And I was not very confident on that for a while until yesterday. Yesterday I have a person that was visiting my page in LinkedIn, and she contacted me from wherever, I don't even know where. And then she set up a phone call, and then she said, I'm going to join your program for next year. And then I said, sure, yes, because I've seen your page in LinkedIn. I see what you do. I see your program. Your program is exactly what I need for my career. And then I said, wow, that's well, I'm talking about LinkedIn in terms of career, but I believe we can apply the same thing for jobs. Once you are there, you are more exposed to jobs in your area. In fact, I have many times received information about jobs in LinkedIn that I pass to the graduates, to the alumni. I have a list of alumni that in preventive care that I share some things with them, and I always share jobs that I found in LinkedIn with them. So it's a way to find your job area, your dream job, I would say. Okay, it's important to have credentials in the area of that you wanna teach. I remember when I went to Hong Kong, I have these three credentials. I have the certificate in exercise physiologist, the certified nutrition specialist, the certified health education specialist, and with those, and of course, I have MD. I am a retired physician, so this also made an importance on their hiring me to go there and work in the hospital for a while. But when I came back to Loma Linda again, because I have all of these, and I was also I had a TA experience in the nutrition department for a while. I worked for Dr. Haddad for a few years, and then this all built up my call to be a professor in Loma Linda. So credentials will not hurt. Is sometimes they hurt your pocket because you have to pay the year fee for all of these professions, and you have to maintain a continuing education, and you have to keep working on these areas. So, but it's good to have that. I would say from those that I listed here, the ones that you can, as a preventive care specialist, that are easy, or at least we will give you a little more background, is the health coach, the health and wellness coach. I believe you can sit for the certified nutrition specialist still. Um, you might need to go to a workshop for that because there are some areas in nutrition that we don't teach in the past. I got this certificate because I used to have a little more background in nutrition in the preventive care program. We used to have more nutrition metabolism classes in the program. The other one, I put here phlebotomist and CPR instructor. This was important for me to go to Hong Kong because they need those for the position that I was working with. So I was a CPR instructor certified. So I teach people to teach CPR. Well, I used to teach. I lost the certificate. I don't have it anymore. Also, the phlebotomist I didn't have anymore. I don't have anymore because before I went to Hong Kong, phlebotomist, we could do a lot of things like the glucose by fingertips. We could do cholesterol. We could use the AccuCheck, the Reflotron machine, or the CardioCheck machines. All of these were available. But then they changed the laws in California and the country, so now it's very complicated to do that. You can do that illegally, but if you want to do that and you are not a nurse and you are not a doctor, you might be in trouble to do those things. So it's not for preventive care anymore, I would say. So that's what I don't have this. But I believe still you can do the diabetes educator certificate. You might not do the certified exercise physiologist, but they have other levels in the ACSM that you can apply for. The chest, that is one of the very good certificate, but you might need to take a little more class on health education to get on this certificate. Unless you have a master in public health and health education, then you are okay. Otherwise, there is some other requirements there. Then even exercise trainer certificate or a culinary medicine certificate will be valid for if you want to work in the area of preventive care and prevention.
And
Then we talk about recommendations. Any comments?
yeah, Dr. Santos, I was going to say also, besides the health coaching, there are the two board certifications. Of course, there's the national board for health coaching, and then there's also the ACLM. Is it called Lifestyle Medicine Board certification from ACLM? But it's a
Yeah,
board exam.
something like that. Lifestyle medicine
I know
certification.
a number of our grads are getting that one as well as the national board health coaching one.
I forgot about that, but you can do. I think this is open for us all. Also, is even open for a master's degree. So if you have a master's in the health area, you can do the certification now, even before you finish your preventive care. The ACLM certification. Thank you, Ernie, for reminding me on that. Okay, let's go to recommendations. It's important to have good recommendations, and for that you have to start right now, getting acquainted with people that you work and with your teachers, and for sure you will have recommendations for me anytime. I do recommendations all the time for my students and alumni. I remember one guy, I will mention his name, Neil Malik. Neil Malik left the place here and applied to work in Fullerton and asked for me for a recommendation. I gave a recommendation. He got a job in Fullerton, but was a part-time. Then he went to San Diego and found a full-time job as a professor and director of a department there for nutrition, because he has an RD. He asked for my recommendation. I gave. He got the job there, not because of me. The guy was good, but the recommendation at high level always have more value. So a professor, Loma Linda University professor in the area of prevention, always have a big influence. And then he ended up finding a job in Cal State San Bernardino, and he is teaching in the nutrition department. Again, he asked for a recommendation, and on that case, my influence was a little bigger because the teacher from San Bernardino contacted me about the guy, and then he was good, and he got the recommendation. And so, by the way, we just finished this month. We got a paper published with him in a cooperation that we have in the past. So Neil Malik was a good example. So try to find the recommendations, and I think Michelle mentioned about putting in your curriculum all the letters of recommendation that we have, or awards. And I have a very interesting history here about the Vietnamese guy that was working for Kentucky Fried Chicken. He came from Vietnam and he was a refugee, and he came to America and didn't have any trade, he didn't have any expertise. He went to work in Kentucky Fried Chicken. He got to know what to do there, and he was chosen for a few months. He was the employee of the month, and then he got a collection of the employee of the month, and then all of a sudden he was promoting as a manager on that, and then as a manager he was chosen year after year as a manager of the year, until his boss decided to sell the franchise. And then, as he was the manager, he said, well, I want to buy your franchise. So he went to the bank, and guess what? He collected all the certificates that he have for employee of the month and manager of the year, and got to everything together and showed the bank, the bank loan guy, and told him, I know to run the business. I just need to have a loan to buy the franchise here. And they got the money for him. He started the franchise and put, as you know, Vietnamese, they put their family to work and put his family to work there. And all of a sudden, the franchise was doing very good, and he was successful on that. And by the way, to make the story short, he got 5 more or 6 more franchises in the United States, and today he has 7 franchises of Kentucky Fried Chicken. Very successful guy, and all started with his awards or recommendations that he had. So keep that in your profile, please. Volunteer to get the experience. I believe Brenda is here, so I can mention that. But Brenda Coranda is one of our students and one of our best students. And one thing I can tell about Brenda is that she volunteered to teach my classes, my courses. And she volunteered for every single course. He got to a point that one course, she designed the whole course again because we decided to change the book. And I'm telling you this because she can teach my courses. I will tell you, she's a nurse practitioner. She finished the whole preventive care, and she has. If I have the need for a professor, I could hire Brenda today, and she could continue my job as I am doing now. And I'm sure if she signs and she apply for another job, she has the skills to run online programs and teach whatever area of prevention, because she was working and she never got I have some teacher assistant that I pay for that. And I remember one time I asked Brenda, hey Brenda, when we pass 26 students we can pay, and she said, don't worry about that. I can continue being a TA without the payment. And that's what I'm saying. It's not about the pay now. It can be about the pay for some of you, but the important is to volunteer, to get the skills, and to get into the field. Once you graduate, you are the jobs are gonna be waiting for you there. I'm telling you. And this is important for any area of skills that you need, not only for teaching, but you work is work. I mean, you can volunteer in areas and be open to be volunteer, but don't be a volunteer that wants just to work on your area. And that's something that volunteers need to learn. One time I have a volunteer. It's a bachelor's in exercise science that came from the San Bernardino, Cal State San Bernardino. He wants to volunteer in Dresden. And then I told her, well, you don't have much experience on the area, so I will put you to observe the services that we do, assessments and counseling, but you cannot do much. You might be able to do the assessments, but you cannot work in the interpretation because of your level. But I will ask one question. I need someone to attend the phone. I need someone to keep the office clean. And she told me, I'm not going to do that. I say, okay. So if you cannot do that, you cannot volunteer here. So volunteers have to be open a little more to help us also. So, and that was the history. She never showed up and she didn't work. I'm not saying that I'm going to make you a slave. But as volunteers, you can ask the volunteers that will have worked for us in Dresden. So it's pretty cool. I mean, and we work together, and we do work for prevention, but we share the activities, we share the clerical jobs also there. It starts from lower level. I remember when I applied. This was an interesting story. I applied for La Sierra. And then I asked my professor in Loma Linda to give me a recommendation letter. And I didn't get the job in La Sierra. But the guys that give me a recommendation letter, when there was an opening in Loma Linda, they talk to the boss and say, hey, Hildemar was looking for a job in La Sierra. Why don't you hire him here? And that's how one of the reasons that I was hired in Loma Linda. Develop good communication skills. Listen more than talk. I am talking too much today, I know, but I want to finish this for us to have some discussion. We might have less than 20 minutes, but we can still discuss. Open to suggestions is important. Make yourself available. Control your anger. Teaching is not a place to have your anger expressed here, if there is a place that you could have it. Create a social environment, so try not just to be in class and take your students to the Christmas party or go to Chipotle. You don't need to pay. You just invite people and go together. Care for your students and maintain long-term contact with them after they graduate. And then we have other areas. Become an expert in your area, develop a good professional profile. I remember when I finished my preventive care course, I had an album with all the things that I did, all the things that I could do, and I was always with that profile, professional profile to share whenever I have an opportunity. Even if I didn't have an opportunity to share that, but it was clear in my mind what activities I could do. And then when people ask me, I mean, it was from the heart. I could tell them whatever I was prepared for. Have resourceful people for consultation around. So sometimes we don't know all the answers for things, but if someone asks something, if you don't know, you might be able to Google it or talk to us or talk to somebody else. It's important for a teacher to be open for that. Open doors, don't close doors. I remember one day we have a faculty here that was two faculty met together to do a research project. And then one of them said, I would like to do a research in obesity, and I like to do a crossover design. And the other professor said, crossover design does not work for weight management. And that was the end of the conversation. From that one, these two professors never worked together because one was opening a door and the other just shut the door down and didn't have space for discussion. And that's what happened in research or in the area of teaching. So you have to open doors and avoid to close doors immediately or shut people down. Be open to new ideas, be slow to react, open to work with difficult people. I'm telling you, if I have students, now the students are pretty much easy, but I have hardcore students in the past. And I keep telling the assistants and my colleagues, hey, if we learn how to deal with these students with good mood, with good emotions, we can deal with everybody else. So these students are here not because they are here to put us down. They are here for us to learn how to deal with a student. And that's it for now. I will stop sharing and I'm going to open for discussions if we still have people. Yeah, we still have 7 participants.
I was just going to say, I like that your point about, it was on a couple of slides back about being flexible or doing other things besides what you might expect to do. Because when I was an intern at Beaver, I did basically 6 months from January to June. I was basically free labor for full time. So I was doing that full time, pretty much 8 hours a day, plus working on my dissertation at night. And I did everything. I mean, it was just a director, a secretary, and a part-time dietitian, and then myself. And so I did, I had a small desk in my director's office, just a table, actually a small table, but I did everything from filing to, clerical stuff to the actual things that I expected to do, teaching, making programs, all that kind of thing. But whatever they said, I said I would do that. And so then when I became, then that's how I got my job there, because then I created all these things, and then they needed somebody to continue it on when I was done in June. So then I was on the other side of the table, and I was having interns from both Loma Linda and Cal State. And unfortunately, we had students from both places where when they came over as an intern, they expected to just be able to do specific things like teach or to see patients or something like that, but that was it. So they weren't willing to do other stuff, like cleaning up, setting up a room, or picking up the trash after a program or something. They said, well, that's for the custodian to do. And I said, what? We made the trash, we need to clean, So then when I see those kind of people, they're not going to be a team player, because they think, oh, well, that's below me, or that's not my job. And whenever I heard them say that, especially if they said that, that left I put that in the report. So then when I did the eval at the end, they said, look, you have to be open to doing everything, because a lot of times a preventive care specialist, when they start off, they're going to be doing everything from marketing, calling people, teaching the class, doing the eval, doing the research, doing the post follow-up. I mean, and cleaning the room after you're done. You've got to be able to do it. And if you're not open to doing that, people are going to remember that. Employers are going to remember that. And that can limit your opportunities. So just have a willing spirit to do it all.
Good. Thank you, Ernie. I need to talk here. Sorry, Brenda, that I mentioned your name. I was not expecting you to be there, but you deserve the comment. I think it was positive, and I should have asked you for permission, but you did a good job, and she is finishing next week. She's gonna defend her dissertation, and she was an excellent student and also an excellent teacher assistant.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Anybody else has any questions or suggestions or something that I might have missed so far?
I had a quick question. Under the additional certifications, that's all culinary medicine. Do you know how long that program is?
Culinary medicine is not an official thing. I believe is a week-long program that so far. Depends where you go. They are giving this to medical students nowadays, and I heard one that was going to be vegan culinary course that I was trying to do. That one is a few months, I believe. Is in the East Coast. I have a friend that did that course. Do you have any information, Greg? I think you are more informed on that.
Of the culinary stuff?
Yeah.
I mean, there's culinary certifications you can get. I don't know if there's one specific to culinary medicine.
But the culinary ones are short term or in general?
I mean, each course, depending on what you're doing, I mean, they could be anywhere from a few months to a year to do.
Okay. So you have one?
Well, I have a culinary degree in general, but I also have a plant-based one that was done online that you do at your own pace, but you have about 3 months to finish it.
Okay. Would you be able to share the information with us? Email
Sure.
me, and then I can share with the group if someone is interested in that.
Yeah, for sure.
Where is this located? I mean, based in which?
Well, the online one you can do remotely. There's other culinary programs that deal like with holistic sort of cooking for more plant-based diets. That there's one in Colorado that I know of, and then there's like the Art Institute where you can get a culinary degree, but they're expensive. I mean, like those are like $30,000, $40,000 to get. So
Yeah. No. Well.
the one in Colorado I think is like 10,000, and then you can do like the forks over knives Ruby Culinary School does, it's like $400 you can do, and it's self-paced.
Okay.
I'll send
There
you the
is,
information.
I believe I'm not sure if the American College of Lifestyle Medicine, they have a proposal. I got the proposal. I have the proposal with me to start a culinary lifestyle nutrition program, but I don't think they open up on that. Well, if you can send some information for us, I can share with Summer and the other preventive care students.
For
By
sure.
the way, Summer is a future preventive care student. I was just joking. I open this to anybody that wants to attend, and Summer is my intern, and she's in the Master in Public Health in Nutrition.
Oh, well, here's one thing that maybe hasn't been brought up that is that I have found helpful in teaching. And that is that if you communicate to the students your enthusiasm and your passion for the topic, then that kind of like permeates the classroom, and that gets them excited about it. And all of these other things, like the relationship building and wanting to do research and going to conference, all those things, it kind of makes a flow of those things. So be open with your students about your passion and your enthusiasm, and share that with them, so that when they go forward, they too can share that with other people.
Thank you, Michelle. That's an important thing. Okay, guys, I think I'm gonna finish now. I'm gonna stop recording.